Welcome to the Creative REI podcast, your go-to hub for all things real estate, business, life, travel, etc. I'm your host, Dante, joined by my co-host, Ed, both real estate professionals on a mission to connect and educate. This podcast is sponsored by PropStream, the most trusted provider of comprehensive real estate data nationwide. What's poppin', everybody? It's the Creative REI Experience. I'm your host, Dante Pena. We got your boy, Edward Nava.
What up, what up?
Where we talk about everything real estate, business, life, travel, etc. Keep it raw. Today's episode, our show in general is brought to you by PropStream, the most trusted real estate data source nationwide. If you guys haven't tried PropStream, go to my link in this video, fill out the info, and get a free trial today. Today's host we got is a 25-year-old builder, developer, owner, also the owner of the construction company Leon Housing in San Diego, California. My guy, Vic Murillo. Did I say that right? Murillo.
It's Italian.
But he doesn't look Italian.
I'm more on the darker side. What's up, guys? Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Well, thanks for coming in, man. So 25 years old and you're a developer.
Yes, sir.
So, and this is one of those situations, bro. I'm a big fan of student mindset, student mentality. I truly believe you can learn something from anybody regardless of whatever age they are, right? So when I first started looking into real estate, when I was actually taking the classes when I was 28, I wanted to do development. And ironically, you're like 25 doing it. So I think that's amazing. Makes me wish I would have started sooner, right?
Yeah.
So tell me about yourself. Where you from? How'd you get into real estate?
Well, I'm 25 years old. I'm in real estate. I was born in San Diego, California.
Mm-hmm.
Went to Mexico for a few years. Lived over there for about 6 years.
Mm-hmm.
Moved back to Cali to live that American dream, I guess.
Okay.
Graduated from high school. Tried going to college. I went for about a week. They gave me a test the first day of school, and I was like, hell no, I cannot do this.
What college did you go to?
Southwestern College.
Okay,
Southwestern?
Or then Chula Vista. Well, I went for like a week.
What was your major?
It was finance. I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I just chose finance because I like money. So I was like, why not? Let's
Same
do
here.
this.
I did business. I wanted to do psychology, but business was like something that intrigued me.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's dope, bro.
Those are the only classes I did good in was business. Everything else was like,
Right.
this is...
Yeah, you only pay attention to those classes. I mean,
Right.
you're more interested in that class. I mean, history, English. I mean,
Nobody
that
cares.
wasn't for me. I mean,
Not, at least I don't.
So I tried going to college mostly because of my parents. I mean, they had a lot of influence with that. I just wanted to, I guess, make them proud, but I knew that wasn't my route.
Right.
Wanted to do something on my own. So I went for about a week, dropped out. I had to get a job, so I started as a painter. I was painting commercial buildings from 6 p.m. to 2:30 a.m.
Oh shit.
And it's hard work.
It's like graveyard shift.
Yeah, it was graveyard shit. I was just getting whatever I could find. I couldn't find a job, so
Like side gigs. Yeah.
It was either get kicked out of the house or get a job. So I got that job, and it was hard work. I mean, during those hours, it's definitely hard work. It's lonely. So I was like, maybe going to school isn't such a bad idea.
Okay.
So I tried going back, dropped out again. It wasn't for me. And that's when I got started in the flipping cars. I was flipping cars for a few months.
What kind of cars did you flip?
Oldies. I would go to the junkyard, buy $500 cars, $1,000 cars.
Yeah.
Put in about $500 into it and sell them for about $3,000, $4,000. I mean, whatever.
What kind of cars? What was your favorite type of car?
Toyotas.
Okay.
Hondas. I mean, it was entry level cars. People that were in high school or college. I was getting these kids trying to buy these cars for the low.
Okay.
So I was making good money there, and then I got started in the life insurance business. Mostly because I was chasing money. And I saw how much money these guys were supposedly making. And that's where I got introduced really to mentorship, really being coachable, because I don't really come from a business family. I don't have that sector. I didn't know what mentorship was. I didn't know what being coachable meant. So they really influenced that during that time. But the whole model wasn't for me. Having to recruit, it wasn't a pyramid scheme, but it kind of was a pyramid scheme.
Network marketing,
something like that. Transamerica,
kind of like Prime America.
Yeah, stuff like that.
Okay.
Would you getting like mentorship in the company that you're working at, or like a?
Yeah, I mean, just being coachable and following steps by steps by the mentor, the person that was mentoring me.
Okay.
and then I tried that for a few months. I made some money. I stood out in that company for such a young age, and I was a hustler. So I
Mhm.
was being coachable as much as possible. I mean, I was going out there recruiting people, getting my friends involved in the business.
Right.
But I mean, since the beginning, I always knew real estate was my thing. I like the. I heard this one quote once that it was about 98% of millionaires become millionaires through real estate. I don't know if
Uh-huh.
that's true today with all the new stuff going on.
I read it's real estate creates more millionaires than any other industry.
Something like that, something
Right.
along those lines.
Okay.
So that really, I mean, that really popped an eye on me. I mean, I was like, the odds are in my favor. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of people are becoming
How
millionaires
can I
through this.
lose?
Exactly. If I put in the work and if I find the right mentor that can help me throughout that whole process.
Okay.
The deal was I didn't know anyone in the real estate market. I didn't have any type of connections.
Your family wasn't into it, so that you
No.
couldn't talk to anybody there. Yeah.
No, my parents moved from Mexico. I mean, they didn't know much people. They didn't know
Mhm.
anyone. So I mean, I had to go on my own, and that's when I started just like YouTubing stuff, like
Yeah.
how to flip houses, how to get involved into real estate, and that's where I came across flipping houses.
Mm-hmm.
So I started buying courses from all these guys, from all these gurus
Who'd you buy
on
courses from? You got anybody you want to name drop?
the OG is Nick Ruiz.
Nick Ruiz. Okay.
Yeah, he has a lot of YouTube videos. The day in the life of Nick Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he does content anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but that was one of the first courses I bought. It was about $3,000.
Okay.
And at the time I was making $15 an hour, $2,000 a month. So that was about
Like
a
your
month and a
monthly
half,
check,
a month and
right.
a half of my of work.
Shit.
But I mean, it was worth it. I knew I had to pay the price. I knew I had to get some type of mentorship because
Right.
that's what I learned from that life insurance model.
Yeah.
So I paid for that program. I also did Ryan Pineda, did a course from him.
Okay.
The All In guys. I'm not sure if you guys know Carlos
Carlos
Reyes,
Reyes. Yeah.
Alex Sanz. So I bought all their courses.
I got homies that used to work for them.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, I
we
went
know
to
a lot of the Phoenix guys. There's
yeah, I
all
went to a
Phoenix
couple
guys.
of their events out there.
Okay.
So I was just trying to really get involved in the
You
in
do the
circle.
mastermind for All In, or you just did the course? So you know, like Alex Signs.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carlos Reyes.
Yeah.
Jumped on the phone with Carlos Reyes a couple times.
Yeah.
Nice.
I was really able to connect with him because he's Latino, he's Mexican. So it's rare to find people like our culture
Right.
in that sector.
Right.
So I was able to connect with them, and then I just took the leap and I started talking about flipping houses, doing all
Mhm.
this with my friends, my family.
Yeah.
I was able to raise some private capital,
Mm-hmm.
and that's when I bought my first flip. It was about 2.5 years ago,
Okay.
right before the pandemic hit.
So your first deal was a flip.
Yeah, it was a condo, so I wasn't even licensed anything. That was just I just went straight to
Where's the
flipping
condo at?
houses. Point Loma.
Point Loma
Nice.
condo.
Yep, bought it
So you
for
went straight into high end. You're like, no, all in.
whatever. I had a budget of around like 400K purchase price.
Mm-hmm.
And in San Diego, that's hard to find a house,
It
single
is.
family
You
residence
have
house.
to go into the hood.
Yeah, exactly. And location. So I was really nervous for my first deal. I mean,
Yeah.
I was sitting on the market for about 6-8 months before I came across that deal.
How'd you get this deal? Was it from a wholesaler? Were you
It
cold
was
calling?
an MLS deal.
So you
Nice.
went on market.
Yeah, like I said, I didn't know any wholesalers. I didn't know any agents. I didn't know anyone in the real
How'd you
estate
make an
space.
offer? Did you just say, hey, I want to buy this? Submit the offer for me?
So we had a family agent that I used.
Okay.
And I told him I'm looking for a fixer.
Okay.
He didn't really help me. He saw my age. He was like, this guy's not really serious.
You're like, yeah, okay, here, check out these listings and then call me.
Yeah. So then I started doing my own research. I started doing my own. I mean, I would be the one looking for properties. He
Mhm.
wouldn't be sending me properties like a regular agent.
Right.
So I went out there. Was on Redfin because I wasn't licensed yet, so I didn't have MLS access either.
Mhm.
So I was just on Redfin every day, looking at deals, and I came across this condo. Showed it to a couple of my family and friends.
Mhm.
Showed them the numbers, gave them a proposal, and I took it on.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they just made the offer and then it got accepted.
Yeah.
Okay. It wasn't no like counter offers.
No, it was straight cash. I mean, it was on the market probably for a couple hours.
Did you actually use cash or did you use hard money?
I used cash for my first
You used
deal.
full cash. So you spent $400 of cash.
$295 was the purchase price.
Okay, so you did $295 offer. It was listed for $400.
It was listed for $300.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so you got it for $10K less.
Yeah.
With cash, all in cash.
Private.
So then you did also construction cash too?
I covered the construction costs. So when I was
Okay.
working,
Out of pocket then.
yeah, out of pocket, my own cash was like the agreement I had with my investors was that they covered the purchase price
Mm-hmm.
and I would cover the rehab.
Uh-huh.
Mhm.
So it was a condo, it was a 2 bedroom, 2 bath,
Mm-hmm.
and I've saved up like 35K.
Mm-hmm.
So I used that money towards my towards the rehab.
Okay. So you have no holding costs, no interest that you have to pay other than
Well, I
your
did have holding
private.
costs because I still have to pay these private investors.
So you're paying a monthly for the
Yes,
290.
an interest rate.
What was the interest rate?
It was about, I would say, 12%.
Sheesh.
I was
That's real private money.
Mm-hmm.
This is private money that knows what they're doing.
I was new in the game. I mean,
Yeah.
I had to convince them somehow.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
so
they
I
want to
mean,
make sure their stuff is secure also. They're
Exactly.
making their money. Damn. So
Um,
what'd you sell it for?
I sold it for 400.
Oh,
So I made
Mm.
I made on my first deal I made 30K
After everything.
after everything,
After
after paying
closing costs.
everyone, closing costs, property taxes. So I
Who's
mean,
your realtor that you used to list it?
so during like 2 weeks during the rehab, I actually got my license.
Oh.
So I was able to use my license. I still had to pay my broker a percentage.
Yeah.
But I definitely saved money there. So I made
Yeah.
money using my license, and I highly vouch for getting your real estate license because
Mhm.
there's a lot of pros and lots of cons, but I think there's more pros to it.
Yeah.
You have MLS access. You're able to
Mhm.
leverage that commission, which is the biggest factor
Nice.
for me.
Yeah.
So instead of paying an agent to list it for me, I'm able to list it for myself, and
Right.
I'm able to save $20,000 per property
Yeah.
just by taking a test.
It makes sense.
yeah.
I like that you say you vouch for it because there's a lot of people who they've had their license and then they got like Ryan Pineda.
Mm-hmm.
He
Yeah.
had his license and then he just let it go. He didn't
Li-
want to deal with all the
Right.
headaches that.
Liability purposes.
Well, there's liabilities. The MLS at the National or the Association of Realtors and their dues, their little rules that they got in. A lot of people don't want to play. We'll call it the politics
yeah.
of the association. So I guess it just really comes down to preference, right?
Yeah,
Right.
well, Ryan's at a bigger scale too. He probably flips hundreds of homes
Right.
a year. I mean, I'm not at that scale yet, so
Yeah.
maybe once I'm at that level, maybe just not
That makes sense.
use my license anymore because of
Yeah.
all the liability and issues that can come with it.
I feel like the time you got to put in to like actually talk to people when you're listing and stuff, like it takes a lot of time, no? Or you hire somebody for that.
You have the right team. I mean, I don't
Okay.
really do the open houses anymore.
Mhm.
I have a team like the Cow Home team. A lot of agents do the open house.
Like new agents.
Yeah, new agents, experienced agents all over. I mean, you get a lot of new clients through
Mhm.
open houses. But I'm gonna start doing open houses because I have my construction business,
Mhm.
and we get a lot of neighbors coming in,
Mhm.
checking out the remodel home, and
Mm.
they're like, "Oh, this is nice. Like, I want to do this to my home."
Mhm.
And this is when I come in, I get my business card. I'm like, "This, you can do this. It's possible. Like, we did this to this property."
Right.
So I try to leverage that too. I mean, I try to leverage my real estate license with a lot of things
Yeah.
within the whole organization, the whole Leon.
That's smart. Delegate to elevate. I like that.
Yeah.
Nice. Yeah, it's interesting because our last guest, we asked him the same question about if you were ever to do everything all over again, or what are your thoughts about investors slash wholesalers getting their license. He said once his term is done, he probably wouldn't really look into getting his license again.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So I'm noticing both sides of the
Mhm.
spectrum, and it's kind of interesting.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a lot of sectors in real estate. I mean,
Right.
it just comes down to preference, what you really want to do.
Right.
Right.
I mean, not everyone in real estate wants to flip houses.
Exactly.
Not everybody wants to sign loans. Some people
Yeah.
do. Some people like flipping houses.
Mhm.
So I think it just comes down to preference and what you really want
Nice.
to do.
Would you say getting your license taught you some stuff? Because I know the classes and the terminology they teach you kind of help out with learning.
The classes and courses didn't really teach me anything, but
Really?
it opened a lot of doors for me.
Okay.
I was able to get access to my mentor Henish.
Okay.
So if I didn't have a license,
Mhm.
I probably wouldn't be able to get that type of access
Right.
with the Cow Home team.
For
and
being with Henish, and shout out Henish Polico, by the way, with Cal Home Co. He's builder developer,
Yeah.
owns a brokerage. This guy does it all. He's the
Mhm.
OG in
Mhm.
San Diego.
Other than Henish, do you have any other mentors that you're currently working with, or
I was working a few years ago. I bought a mentorship with Leo Basulda.
sounds familiar?
Never heard
IG
of
guy. He's a wholesaler over there in Orange County.
Okay.
He was mentoring me on a 101, more on the wholesaling acquisition side.
Mm-hmm.
He taught me the steps, what to do. So because of him, I actually had the whole acquisition team. I had VAs in the Philippines calling 8 hours a day, 5 days a week.
Okay.
And then I had an acquisition guy here. So I got about like 3 properties just by him
Is that
mentoring me.
Chris?
Chris
Okay.
Nerboss, he was my acquisition guy for a bit.
Okay.
Shout out to him. He
I
put in
like
the
Chris.
work.
Where's he been? I haven't seen him around in a while.
He's working with Mike. He's doing the acquisitions
Okay.
with Mike.
Okay.
Nice.
I kind of stopped that. I paused that for now. When
It's a grind, bro. Just running it's a, people make it look easy online.
it's a grind and it's expensive. I mean,
Yeah.
I was
The
You gotta keep
marketing's
marketing
expensive.
dollars. Yeah.
I was busting like $4,000 to $5,000 a month.
Yeah.
On just
What kind of marketing were you doing? Like cold calling?
straight cold calling, and text messaging.
How many
SMS.
cold callers did you have?
5,
5 cold callers just for
Sheesh.
San Diego?
just in San
That's
Diego.
so many cold callers.
Yeah, it's like 10 leads a
Why
day.
did you not get sued? You didn't get sued? Not once.
Thank God I didn't. They tried to sue me for something else, but not for that.
Oh man.
But yeah, paying them $4 an hour. People might seem like that's a little bit, but if you do the math, I mean, like we're talking
It does
about
that up.
$2,000 a month.
You guys probably still have leads till this day from those cold callers. True or false?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You still call those leads, right?
I actually don't.
You don't.
We'll call him up. What's up?
No, hold on. Wait
I
a
gotta
minute.
hit
Send
up- I
them.
gotta
Send
hit
them
up
to
Ed. I
Ed.
gotta hit up Ed.
We're gonna
to
send
start
them to
doing
Ed.
my
I'll give you a
cold
cut.
calling.
Because
Yeah.
obviously, unless you want to send them to Mike and Brigrio, but I don't know if Mike will
Yeah.
want to do it. He's
Yeah,
probably got his own leads.
I want to start resuming that. I want to start doing that probably around February next year. I want to
Mhm.
start doing that whole cold calling sector. It's SMS.
SMS PPC is killing it for us right now.
Yeah.
Killing it. Like but the marketing dollars on that, it's way more expensive.
Yeah,
But you're not calling people; they're coming to you.
They're calling
Quality
you.
versus quantity.
That
Mhm.
exactly.
Who do you guys use for PPC?
We use gold level marketing, and you
with
like
Efron?
yeah.
Miguel.
Yeah, I spoke to them for a bit because I was gonna.
You
do
need to
that
have
for
6
PPC.
months worth of 3,500 if you want to make it work with them, because it's one of those things you got to be consistent. Also, your conversion, I tell everybody this, your conversion is based upon your
Close.
ability to close. If you're
Yeah.
not a closer, you get hot leads and wouldn't even know it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that thing.
you talk to them in what?
I was gonna do that whole
Yeah.
PPC stuff, but I just I didn't have the budget because I had the cold callers, I had acquisition
Yeah.
list. I mean, it does get
It
expensive.
does, yeah, it adds up. But we kind of run a little bit of everything, and then, just tying into your network. A lot of people nowadays, they talk about agent outreach and reaching out to realtors, and also like what you did, you bought an on-market property, right? I started off market, and I think because of that, I've handicapped myself. B, I call it spoiling myself, but I also think I'm creating a disservice for myself, like a handicap, right? Because I could be dialing on market and talking to people and getting deals on market, but I've never actually every time I've done it, it just hasn't worked out. So I'm like, man, screw on market, but I'm getting to the point where I'm actually starting to like do
Yeah.
more of it.
I mean, there's money everywhere.
Right.
I mean, why not go towards on market properties? I started
Mhm.
on market. Don't really buy on market properties anymore. I mean, it was a lot of competition.
Right.
But I definitely I started off on the market MLS. My first
Right.
3 deals were on the MLS. So there is good deals on the MLS. It's
Right.
just a lot harder and you have to act quick with it.
Yeah.
A lot of competition. But I mean, now we probably just buy off market properties.
Right.
We have a lot of agents bringing us fixers.
Yeah.
So I don't really look on the market anymore.
Mhm.
But I mean, for someone that's starting off and doesn't have the right connections, I mean, be on the MLS every day.
Be on the MLS.
Be
Or
refreshing
get
every
connected
hour.
with somebody who knows how to do what you're wanting to do and have them teach you, and then you bring them the deal.
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, if you have access to that person, to that mentor that you're able to partner up with,
Right.
like if you want to join Cal Home, I mean, you have access to all these guys, Mike, Henish,
Yeah.
myself. So just by knowing one of us can just completely change your life. And but I didn't have that type of people. I didn't have that type of access. So I
Right.
started off the MLS. But if I did have that type of mentorship and that type of support,
Yeah.
I definitely would have just gone to Henish, be like, how can we do this? How can I buy my first flip? He probably would have found me an off-market deal within the first month.
He gets off market sent to him all day, huh?
Yeah.
He even sent me an off market. He's like, "This is not a deal for me, but it's Oceanside. Let me send it to Dante."
Yeah.
And then
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, you have to look at about 100 deals to find one good one.
yeah. And it's like underwriting all day.
Yeah,
Really much. It's
Underwriting. Yeah, when agents send me properties, I mean, it's like, just send me the numbers. I mean, How much can I make? What's the ARV?
Yeah.
Because I mean, a lot of these wholesalers, when they send out, no offense to wholesalers, but when they send out these ARV numbers, I mean, it's just
Most
ridiculous.
wholesalers
Right.
send out inflated numbers. I
Yeah.
It's
agree.
dumb.
Yeah, and you have to really just run your numbers and don't
Yeah.
go based off that number, because
Right.
you're gonna lose a lot of money if you go based off your number and you don't do
Agreed.
your due
You have to
diligence.
do your own due diligence. Some of these wholesalers, they're so sold on their numbers that when you try to tell them what their numbers aren't, they get like defensive.
Yeah. I mean, some of them, I talk to them. I'm like, bro, like, this isn't the ARV. Why are you giving me this ARV? And they're like,
Yeah.
we got to it's company. I don't know what they say, but
Well, it's at those bigger ones, but like the
Yeah.
smaller ones, you try to convince them, and they're trying to convince you, and it's like at this point,
Yeah.
I've already talked. I got realtors that I deal with, right? And I like to double, triple check stuff.
Yeah.
So because I like to double, triple check, I send it out to realtors that I trust and say, hey, what do you get for ARV on this? And if it matches what I get, now I know I'm aligned with my numbers,
Right.
and that you're now still trying to inflate, and like, and I could only talk to you so much to the point where it's like, all right, probably not going to look at any more deals that you send.
exactly, you burn
Numbers
that,
are
you burn that bridge, and that's
Right.
something that I do too. Is I hit up a lot of agents before buying a house.
Mhm.
Is I call around whoever sold properties around the area.
Mhm.
I'm like, how many offers did you get? How long was it on the market?
Mhm.
And I do my due diligence everywhere.
That's
I mean,
good.
it's
I like
better
that
be
you do
safe.
that. So aside of being a developer builder, you also own a construction company. Might I say investor friendly
Yeah,
Mhm.
I work with a lot of investors.
and very investor friendly. You've done one
yeah.
of our deals. We did a novation,
Exactly.
Chilla
and he
Vista.
did the construction for the novation.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
try to do the construction for, I mean, for anybody that really wants to get in the game. I mean, I work with a lot of agents too before them listing them listing their clients' properties. I go in there, do some touch ups, flooring, paint, update the kitchen.
They pay you up front, or they'll get you paid at closing.
I do up front. I don't
Okay.
really do the closing because it's a big risk for me. What if the
Huge.
market sits for 2 months?
What if they don't sell?
Exactly. They decide not to sell, and then it's just a burden. So
You ever considered while they're under contract, hey, they're under contract, do we need to fix these things?
No.
No.
Up front.
No.
Let me see the money.
Yeah. We did that with a plumber on a deal in Texas one time.
Yeah.
We were like, hey, we need some plumbing stuff done.
It's a lot of trust that you need to have on.
Well, no, he put the invoice in there and it went to escrow. So escrow already had it in the settlement statement to get paid out of escrow at closing.
Yeah.
Something to think about. I mean, I get it because you want to get paid up front, but let's say
It's just a
so
big risk. I mean, like I said, what
it's
if the
always a
market-
big risk.
what if
Yeah.
the market sits? I mean, it has to make sense for me. I mean, you gotta pay me 10K extra for me.
It's the
reduce
idea that you came out of pocket for your stuff and now you have to wait to get your money back plus your profit, right?
plus interest.
That's why you need right. So that's why you need business funding.
Yeah.
You should look into that, man.
Yeah. When they set up something after.
We will. So Leon Housing, what are you guys doing with that? Talk to me about Leon Housing.
Leon Housing Construction. I mean, we got our license contractor general B. So I'm really going towards doing construction for a lot of clients.
Mhm.
I love that sector. I mean, I never thought I was gonna be in the construction world myself, but
Mhm.
I kind of just like it fell on my lap. I started flipping houses. A lot of investors, friends started hitting me up. Hey, who do you use for construction and all that? So I decided to start my own business, have my own guys. So yeah, we're just rocking and rolling. I mean, it's a good business. Construction, there's a lot of money into it. It's a lot of hard work.
You do everything from ground up too, right? So
everything.
brand new builds,
Yeah,
ADUs.
ADUs. We help you with the whole permitting factor. I
So
mean,
you get the permitting done.
yeah.
You can design a whole house if they wanted to build a brand new house and they had a lot and didn't know what to come with. I've seen some of your work too. We should have put some of that up there. But some of his work with concrete and like doing full on like concrete slabs in the back of like backyards.
Pools,
pools,
barbecues.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, we do it all. There's money everywhere. I mean, don't sleep on anything. Just
Mhm.
don't leave any money on the table.
I like that.
Yep.
Okay, so now
Yeah, so if you need me to remodel your house, your client's house, hit me up. Leon Housing Construction.
there you go.
They'll put my info after. So
So we watched. So Vic and us, we're all pretty close. Like we kind of keep in touch with each other. We also watch each other too on social media a lot. And this guy's always in Colombia.
Oh
I
yeah.
didn't say that. I went once, and
What do
everyone
you-
thinks I go every week.
So what are you doing in Colombia? So we got to talk. This is business, real estate, and travel, right?
I
So what are you doing
mean,
in Colombia?
I like the culture. I like the history.
He's looking for a wife. He's looking for a wife.
No, so I'm actually looking at real estate over there.
Okay.
I'm thinking of buying like a big 2,000 square feet house and turning it into like a hotel.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you can do that without owning citizenship, or you have citizenship?
I have people over there that would probably help me out with that.
Okay.
I made some good connections out there because I'm always making connections. I'm always telling people what I do, what exactly I do. How can
Out there in Colombia.
Yeah.
Damn. So you're networking in Colombia. Woo, worldwide.
Always. I mean, I stayed at this hotel. It was like a hostel,
Mhm.
and I mean, I made a lot of good connections. Even people from England, people from Chile, Argentina, and there are people that have like their own business because they're traveling and like and
a lot of them. Excuse me. A lot of them work remote.
exactly. So you get good connections. I mean, I met a guy that does like he has a licensing for the what are those things that fly the drones um about the whole country. So I mean, that's a good connection to have. I mean, it's just networking. So I'm looking to buy like a house over there and turn it into a hotel, get several rooms out there. So I'm just looking, but I go to visit, have fun. I mean, go for a weekend, and then just come back and get back to the grind.
So, what is this 2,400 square foot building right now? Is it just a house?
It's a house. Yeah, it's in a residential house. I mean, what surprised me the most is you can have a hotel next to this residential.
Is this like a zoning thing, or you don't have to worry about zoning?
There's no zoning. There's no.
So you just do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Obviously, you can't build a 30-foot apartment building. But,
Right.
as long as you keep it within the structure,
Yeah.
story. Keep it
Like there's a
We're
lot
not-
of under the hand stuff going over there too, huh?
Maybe. What do you think?
Like, hey, I want to build this. Here's
anywhere.
Hey, he said anywhere. He said anywhere with this straight anywhere.
facts.
money talks. I mean,
Yeah.
you can get a lot of places with money.
Yeah,
that is true.
And influence.
I mean, it's true. It's true. So, okay, what's your favorite thing about Colombia? Did you go to any other countries other than Colombia, or you just stayed in Colombia?
I did like a 3-hour layover
Mm-hmm.
in what was it? Venezuela.
Okay.
So I was over there for a bit.
You actually went out into
No,
Venezuela?
Just a little where I was just there
In the airport? Just admired it
But
from...
I visited it.
I've been there.
Yeah, I've been there. I bought my little keychain, my little shot glass.
Venezuela. I think this is as far as Venezuela as we're gonna get.
Yeah.
What okay, so did you go just one city? Did you do multiple cities in Colombia?
I did multiple cities. I did Bogota, Medellin, Cartagena, Santa Marta. So I did all around.
Which one was your favorite?
Bogota. To live Bogota, maybe to like party and do all that. Cartagena.
Yeah.
Bogota's like the beach town, right?
Cartagena is the beach town. It's
Okay.
super hot. I mean,
like humid hot, like Miami.
Yeah, Miami type.
Sheesh.
You're walking around and you're sweating.
Hate humidity.
But I mean, something that I like the most about Colombians is the people. They're very outgoing.
The culture is different. We were just talking about this with some of the other guests. Like when you go to different places and you experience, I call them culture shock.
Yeah.
Right. Like it could be something small, like, for example, me moving to Texas,
right,
and going to the regular grocery store and seeing they don't have a liquor aisle, which is super, super minuscule, right? But until you leave California to go to another state that doesn't have any liquor, it's got a liquor store that closes at 9 and it's never open on Sundays.
Yeah.
That's a culture shock, right?
I've never heard of that until today.
Right. So for the people that live in Texas, you bring them out here and you take them to the grocery store and you're like, I got a surprise for you. And they're like, what's the surprise in a grocery store? And then you take them and then the response is the same. Is this a liquor aisle? Like they're not used to it.
We even have the whole fridge that you can go in and buy beer and all that.
Yeah. So then, you know, the people, like you say, the people, how they act, how they react. So culture is huge. Even when you go from like here to LA or Austin, Dallas, Houston, there's a different culture in different cities. Yeah. So when you get to experience that, it kind of opens up, you know, something up in here, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Colombia is on the list. I haven't been there yet. I haven't even done South America or Central yet, but Costa Rica is probably on my high priority.
Yeah. Let's do it. Next year.
We got a guy on our team right now. He's actually dialing for us from El Salvador. Shout out Robbie Powers, by the way. But so homeboy's from Colorado, but lives in El Salvador. Showed us his beach view from his office in his house, and is like outside and just dialing from the beach in El Salvador, paying like $1,500 a month. He's got a maid for $20 a month. He's got.
That's the freedom that real estate can give you.
Chef.
Yeah, he's got a chef and a maid for $20 a month.
that's the life. Yeah, I was thinking of doing something like that, but in Thailand. Going out
Thailand's
there.
another one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's very
For like a
affordable
month
out there.
straight.
Yeah, it's
Yep.
affordable out there.
Or Indonesia.
Yeah.
Ooh, don't they have like elephants out there?
I think that's both Thailand and Indonesia.
Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's one of
fun.
my goals is to ride an elephant.
Hell yeah.
Even
Let's
though
do a group trip. I'm down.
Let's close the deal and go out there.
Yeah. Hey. So because he's already done, but he did the construction side.
Right.
once we close that Thomas deal, I mean,
Ooh.
fat paper.
Thomas is gonna be. This guy can get his like title together.
Yeah.
Broken chains of titles. Okay. So what is there anything you'd like to add, bro? Like, what do you what do you want to come here and talk about? You got anything you want to shout out? You want where people can find you?
They can find me on Instagram, Facebook. My
Mhm.
personal page is Victor Murillo. My
Mhm.
business page is Leon Housing Construction.
Mm-hmm.
We post all types of projects there. I mean, I'm trying to go bigger on social media now.
Okay.
Want to start posting TikToks. I got my own social media girl too.
Okay.
So I mean, definitely want to be more involved with social media. get
Social
more
media is where
eyes.
it's at, bro. Like,
Yeah.
just, growing your audience as well as like recruiting. That's
Mhm.
where it's
Yeah.
been a little bit easier for us. Like, we don't have to, consistently go to meetups and here. Then we just get hit up.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I want to
Yeah.
learn from this. How can I join or whatever
Yeah,
the
exactly.
case may be?
I mean, with mentorship, I mean, you get access to these type of people that you wouldn't be able to get access if
Right.
if it wasn't for social
Right.
media.
We talked about that.
Right.
So that's how I really got started in the game. Like I said, I mean, I got access to these type Grant Cardone, Manny Koshman. I mean, if it wasn't for social media, I wouldn't be able to know how they
You'd have to
think.
pay to get in the room with them versus
Exactly.
having to be virtually in the room.
Yeah. So I
But,
always
okay.
say there's two factors of using social media. I mean, either you're gossiping, posting dumb stuff, or you can use it as
Business.
a
A tool.
business-wise a tool
Right.
Yeah.
for your business to learn. So I always I one of my red flags is I'm always on TikTok, but I'm on TikTok like learning. I'm watching
Mhm.
Right.
construction videos. I'm watching influential people.
Yeah.
So you get access to these type of people that you wouldn't be getting
So
access
so
to.
that's I read this somewhere that in China, the kids in China are watching like learning videos.
Exactly.
STEM videos.
Where the kids here-
Science, technology, English, math, some shit
Right.
like that.
And then the kids here are just watching stupid dances.
dancing
Right.
videos.
Right. So and I like that. So it's informational. I meet a lot of people, they use TikTok and they get their information from TikTok because it teaches you a bunch of stuff.
Right.
So it's all about how you use it, right? So
Exactly.
same thing. You can have people you can be aimlessly scrolling, or you can be looking for stuff that's useful, or you can actually be posting stuff that's useful versus just like a bunch of BS.
Right. Would you be open to, open up a course for people that want to do what you're doing? Like, especially with the newbie looking at a 25-year-old, like, oh, damn, I'm like in my 30s or I'm 18 years old and I want to,
Yeah.
be someone successful. I want to follow in his footsteps and maybe learn from his mistakes or maybe join his crew. Would
Yeah.
you be open to start like a course or like
I've honestly never thought about starting a course, but I think something that I would rather do is like kind of like a mentorship, like get your license, join the Cal Home team, and you're
Mhm.
able to get access to these type of people, and that way we can mentor you. I mean,
Okay.
I always try to do partnerships with people. People always ask
Right.
me, how can we partner up? And probably my number one response is like, find me an off-market deal or find me some type of capital investors. And that's the way we can partner up is if you bring me an off-market deal. I mean, don't bring me on-market deals, MLS deals, because I see those too.
Yeah, why would I buy those when I can go straight to the realtor?
Exactly.
Yeah. Thanks for the lead.
So somewhere where you can really gain
Y'all
value.
hear that? Don't bring in MLS deals that we can probably get access to ourselves. All we're gonna say is thanks for the lead.
Yeah,
there's
exactly.
there's no work in you having to bring something on market. I don't know where I saw that, but somebody said that's lazy. Looking
it
at
is
on market
lazy.
deals is lazy. Put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
What are you working on now?
There's good deals out there on the market. Though.
There are
The
good deals
MLS
on the market,
deals.
but you know what? Buy them for yourselves. Don't try to sell them to somebody because they're gonna just buy it themselves anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Yeah, these newer agents, they're always sending me these like new on the market deals. So I try to be very clear and very transparent. I'm like, don't send me these on market deals because I see this too. I mean, if you have access to these off market deals, if you know someone, if you have an aunt, if you have a grandma that wants to sell their house, then we can work together.
Yeah.
So
Maybe
you have
they
to
don't
bring
want to
value.
list. Maybe they don't want to list, right? So they know you as the realtor friend, but hey, I don't really want to list my property. I don't want to know a bunch of people coming in. Then they're gonna contact you,
Yeah.
and then you can look at it as a deal.
And I have an advantage because I'm not just an agent; I'm an investor too. So I can
Right.
just take it on myself if it's a good deal,
Right.
or I can just pass it on to another investor.
Mm-hmm.
So it's good to have a lot of tools under your belt, not
Yeah.
just being an agent.
I agree.
Because I think if most agents want to be investors, and it's not as hard as people make it seem.
Mm-hmm.
Some people just want to know everything about the business. I mean, I was
Before they actually jump into
exactly.
it.
I mean,
Yeah.
I was 20 years old. I didn't know all the whole business.
You just took
I knew,
action.
yeah, I just took action and learned as in the on the way. I mean,
That's good.
that's
That's a good. What kind of deals you working on now? So we got a deal, you and I, in El Cajon. Everybody passed on it. I always get the deals that everybody passes on. We figure out some type of way to try to
came through our CRM before it was on market.
It was.
We kept following up when it was on market.
Wasn't it a PPC?
It was
or
a
was
PPC.
that somebody brought it to us?
So story about that. I called him up the first time, like, hey, you filled out a form online. You know, it says here you're looking for an offer, and then he just kept cussing at me this and that. He's like, oh yeah, and we're like, what are you gonna do the money for? I think that was one of the questions.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, blow it on cocaines and hookers.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that was his first.
he
Okay.
seems like the guy that would though.
He was. So I think Ed was just starting off, and I would get I would get almost like not pissed off, but like defensive when people would yell at him. Because I can hear him getting flustered. They'd be like, yeah, go fucking jump off a cliff, right?
Yeah.
And I'm listening and I'm like, let me jump on the phone. And so I'm kind of like almost like in his defense. So I get on the phone and I actually start talking to the guy. I'm like, so I mean, once we close on this, what are you going to use the money for? And he's like, what does it matter? Strippers and cocaine?
Yes.
And then he was just not being nice to us at all.
Yeah.
And then it turned into, I think we called him like a couple months later because we saw it listed.
kept following up, yeah.
Yeah, follow up. Key is in the follow up. We kept following up with them. We saw it was listed when we were following up. We didn't even realize it was listed. And then I was like, hey, Tom, we saw that your house is listed now after we talked to you. Are you guys getting anything close to asking or not quite? And he's like, not quite. And I was like, well, if we can get closer to asking, would you be able to do some creative? And then he was open to the discussion. That's when you and I went and we walked the property. Come to find out, this guy moved a whole house from Mount Helix all the way to El Cajon.
Not just the house, the trees. The palm trees he moved from a different location too. So this guy liked moving stuff around.
He really does. He's like a hoarder that like moves stuff.
A nomad hoarder.
Something like that. But he's got a bunch
crazy.
of nice classic cars in the driveway or all over the land.
Yeah.
Machinery everywhere.
No, but it's like they're like really good shells, right? Like if you were still flipping cars, that'd be like a paradise.
Yeah.
You'd be like, bro, let me just clean up this whole piece of land, right? I'm still in. I every time I tell somebody about this, how he moved a house from one mountain to another. My question is, how the hell did he get that house up there?
And the size of that house is not. We're not just talking about 1,100 square feet house. We're talking about a big.
It's like 3,000 square foot.
More.
He moved it onto the side of a mountain.
Yeah.
Like Legos. You just took it down.
But that
Split
property
it in
has,
half. He said, "I
it
think
has a lot of potential. I mean, it had high 20 feet ceilings. I mean, it was it was a massive.
It's like
piece.
a good skeleton for what's something that could be nice, right? And
that's where I come in and I do my magic.
yeah, well, so he's like, we're gonna do infinity pool. It's got a dope view of the mountains. We saw this big old 12,000 square foot house. We need to find out
like
who
a
owns
model,
it.
right?
He said some supermodel lives there. I believe it because you know those hills out there in San Diego and they're excluded, so you could get like gated communities, stuff like that.
Yeah.
But we pretty much told him, if you promise us 200K profit minimum, we'll take on this project and we'll put up the cash ourselves in exchange for a promissory note and a note deed of trust. And he said, okay. And we're actually still under contract, but the chain of title's like broken.
Yeah.
He's got, somebody died. There's heirs missing, or if there's heirs at all, we don't even know. It's the weirdest deal I've ever done. So we're figuring it out. But
any cool hobbies or anything you like to do like offside of the workspace?
Probably sports. Go to the gym. I try to be active as much as possible. I mean, health is wealth. I always see how can I improve and stuff like that. So actually, that's one of the reasons I want to take up that run challenge of you guys. Is to really get started running.
Yeah. So we got a run challenge here. Me and Ed are trying to. It's pretty much a 100-mile run challenge. Whoever does the most miles, obviously, to qualify, you got to run 100 miles. If you guys want to look at it, I think right now, where are we at right now, Ed?
I'm like at 70, 75.
Ed's got 75 miles. I'm sitting at 60. You guys, if you want to take a poll,
I'm sitting about 85.
We don't know where he's at on here, but he's obviously like not on here at all, but he claims he is. Ed's got 78.44. I got 60.22. If you guys think that I'm gonna win or that Ed's cheating, Go ahead and vote.
Hater. Hater.
Go ahead and vote if you think I'm gonna win or if Ed's gonna cheat. So
You
Do you
still do
actu-
this.
Do
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you actually remember how we met?
Yeah, I wanted to tell that story.
we talked
so,
about that in the first episode.
Yeah.
You were
really?
mentioned in episode 1.
Yeah,
Oh, nice.
how I got started, everything.
We shout y'all and Cal Home Co out a lot, bro.
I
Yeah.
appreciate that. I
We
appreciate that.
we kind of so we're a big fan of collaboration over competition, right? So
Yeah.
although we may hypothetically we're kind of like competitors, right? We're all going after the same deals and whatnot. There's plenty of food for everybody.
There's plenty
So
of pie for
family.
everyone.
to try to be greedy about it, man. Again, this is what I always say: the bears eat, the bulls eat, but the pigs go to slaughter. Don't be greedy.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Don't be greedy.
You still doing the sports betting? You bet on teams and games?
Yeah.
mm.
Yeah, I tried kind of like stop for a little bit. 'cause I was-
He's losing
Were you
money.
losing?
The thing was I was spending too much time watching these games because I would watch
Okay.
the games. So I was like, I'd rather just maybe read a book or watch some YouTube videos instead of watching these sports. But I mean, yeah, I gamble a little bit
Yeah.
once in a while.
That's nice.
What's your favorite gambling?
Club America, that's my soccer team. If you
Okay.
want to make
Oh,
money,
America.
just bet on them. Money line. Every
Money line.
game, easy
Hey,
money.
holler at me for tips. Follow me at.
That's how you
Sports
gotta know. I'm
counseling.
giving you guys $100 tip right there. Is a America money line.
You know, on a side note, I forgot because we introduced you as a builder developer at 25, right?
Maybe
And
that's
so
where
you came across a property in Vista, California. Originally was a fix and flip that the numbers didn't make sense.
Yep.
And you turned it into what?
that was my gold mine. We're turning into a 33 unit apartment complex.
So what was supposed to be a fix and flip turned into 33 unit project now.
Yeah.
That's
well,
insane.
it was a lead that was in my database sitting there for a while
Was this from cold calling?
from cold calling.
Send us that list that you're not working on, and we'll
Yeah.
bring you
Great,
all
man.
the deals.
Yeah.
Like for real.
Yeah, we'll definitely work together on something like that. I mean,
Mhm.
the leads are just sitting there. I mean, I have so many leads in there.
There's probably somebody interested in selling
No, for
as
sure.
we speak, and you're
For
losing
sure.
money just letting it sit there.
Yeah, for sure. So this came through cold calling. This guy wanted 700K for his property.
Mhm.
It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath in Vista.
Mhm.
I mean, that's not even the ARV, 700K. So I'm
Right.
like, you're crazy. Like, I'm not gonna give you 700K. We can't do that. So I just disregarded it, and then I had a meeting. We had a team meeting with the Cal Home team with Henish, and then he started mentioning we need to start doing this development deals, these complete communities, and I remember the seller talked about this lot being able to build several units.
Yeah.
So,
So he was selling it based off of that.
off the value of the land, not the
Mhm.
property.
Okay.
Which I didn't have that concept, and that's the power of mentorship because mentors can open up your eyes to a whole new world. I mean, I never in a million years thought I was going to be developing an apartment building at 25 years old.
Doing it by accident at this point.
It kind of was.
Yeah.
And I'm learning throughout the whole process. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a whole new game. It's not just like flipping a house.
Right.
There's
Did you
a
say
lot-
you're putting in as much work doing that though as you would flipping a house, or more?
I mean, right now we're going through the whole permitting factor.
Mm-hmm.
Permits. I mean, the architect is really doing his thing.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, it's definitely that's really my long term goal is being a developer and
Mhm.
being owners of these apartment complexes. So yeah, I kind of just fell on my lap. I told Henish about the deal. He's like, it looks like a good deal. Let's start doing our due diligence. We started running numbers, and we decided to move forward. And the amazing part about this deal is that it was a lease option to sell, so it was kind of like a creative finance deal.
Mhm.
So we didn't have to pay the whole 700K up front.
Mm-hmm.
We did a down payment of 70K.
So a lease option. You want to explain to the
buy.
people who don't know what that is?
Throughout this deal, we're paying this guy $2,500 a month
Mm-hmm.
until 2 years until we get the permits. Once we have
Okay.
the permits approved, we're gonna give him the 700K.
So do you actually have title at right now, or you just have a contract for?
We just have the contract to be able to
Okay.
buy, to be able to purchase it. So
Smart.
the title is still under his name.
Mm-hmm.
So he still has to help us with the whole permitting factor and stuff
Mhm.
like that. He has to sign off on it.
Mm-hmm.
But that was in the contract that he was gonna help us with any type of paperwork that we would need to do.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we did a down payment of 70K and an interest monthly rate of $2,500 a month.
Mm-hmm.
But there's actually a tenant there that pays $2,200 a month. So out of pocket, I'm just paying $300 a month for 2 years.
Sheesh.
Once the permits get approved, we give him the whole
You gonna
6:30.
finance that with hard money or private money? How do you plan on paying for the rest of that?
We're probably gonna raise private money.
Okay,
So that's
that's
that
gonna be
deal.
fun.
Yeah, it's a fun.
So,
deal.
25 years old, found a fix and flip that it turned into 33 units.
You should be documenting
Vista.
this on a TikTok. I feel
You
like a
should be
lot of
having the
people-
whole process from the. If you haven't started now, start
Yeah,
now.
like a camera.
That's what I
crew.
mentioned to you guys. I mean, I want to start doing more videos, more content, especially. I mean,
Yeah.
on
Yeah,
on
this would
TikTok
be
and stuff like
well.
that.
Not only that, because well, what I'm noticing with the power of internet and knowledge, there's a lot. Like y'all are young. I'm 36, right?
Yeah, you're
Sheesh.
still young.
Damn.
Right.
I'm
Hennish-
pushing weight.
Is that like that Drake video?
Yeah,
It's
no,
like that Drake
Kevin
video?
Hart. He's like,
Is
I'm
it Kevin?
36. He's like, damn.
It like stops and looks at him.
I think it's Kevin Hart.
Yeah, Kevin Hart.
Well, no, there's another one with Drake and Yachty.
Mm-hmm.
Drake and Yachty, and he's
Yeah.
like, so Drake's like, thanks.
Yeah.
But no, but so that's the thing with the access to internet and knowledge, right? These kids are getting younger and younger on knowing this stuff. Where even Hennish, I'm pretty sure Hennish, had had access to the internet like you guys did, we'd probably all be starting at a younger age. But I think
Right.
you guys are in an era where you guys like fell into the right spot.
That's what I highly vouch for social media. Social media is
Yeah.
huge. I mean, what it could do to your business, the
Yeah.
type of tools that could bring you, the type of relationships. I mean, almost 99% of all agents and my clients found me through social media.
Right. And we're finding that too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, they find me. I met you through just Hennish. I mean,
Yeah.
these events, going to these networking events. So I mean, going to these networking events is huge too. I mean, you
Yeah.
meet all these type of people.
I 100% agree. You always meet
relationships.
somebody new there and always learn something.
Yeah, I mean, that's always my goal. Is once I go to this event, is how can I influence someone, or how can they influence me
Yeah.
some type of way? To
How can we
work-
create some sort of value and have a win-win together?
Exactly.
So, ironic how I met Hennish. Do you remember Jonna Smith? She granted escrow. She's the escrow grip.
Sure.
So I had this escrow lady. She pretty much sponsored one of the events, and then my second event I was gonna host. It was a meetup in Encinitas, and she was like, "Yeah, I got this guy. He just spoke at an event. He's a really good speaker. He talks about ADUs. I think you'd like Enish." So I get on the phone with him. We start talking. He speaks about ADUs and SB9 and all that, and everything went really well. He actually did really good on the speaking. Well, ironically, the same meetup, I had my buddy Jordan, who is at the time was a 24-year-old kid flipping mobile homes in Austin. He was making I think he made like 750K
Yeah.
in 1 year just flipping mobile homes. And so I brought him on for that. I'm like, people are gonna want to hear your story, bro. You're 24 years old. You're making more money than a lot of people in their 30s, right? They want to hear your story. Well, later on, Jordan ends up meeting somebody out there in Austin who does private money for him, right? And I can't remember exactly how it worked, but the private money person ended up being Vivian Yip, who actually knows Hennish, and they go way back
Yeah.
from like.
Yeah, she spoke at one of Cal Homes.
She did speak at one of Cal Homes. Yeah,
say.
I think we did the Christmas party. She spoke at one of those, but
Yeah.
she's, I guess her and Hennish go way back.
Small road.
Yeah. So, that's what it was. Jordan was talking to Hennish on the phone and was like, "Do you know any private money people in Austin?" He's like, "Yeah, Vivian Yip," and he's like, "I know Vivian already, right?"
Yeah.
So, small world, right? Real estate community, small world, but that's the power of networking as well.
Yeah.
True or false?
It's huge.
True.
Yeah. So,
So,
what else?
Any like projects coming up other than the development deal that
You got
you're
any
looking
flips
forward?
now or what? You got?
yeah, I have a La Mesa deal coming up to the market probably at the end of the month.
Mhm.
It's a 4-bedroom, three and a half bath, 1,700 square feet
in La
in
Mesa.
La Mesa with an
Okay.
ADU, permitted ADU.
When's that
Nice.
scheduled to be listed?
Probably at the end of the month.
Okay.
So it's coming soon, fully remodeled, modern, new kitchen, new everything.
Mm.
So that's coming up on the market. I also have one of my clients' properties in Fallbrook,
Mhm.
which is Emiliano. You guys had him last week.
We did have
Nice.
Emiliano.
I did his construction work, big house. So hit up Emiliano if you're interested in the property down
Mhm.
there. 3,000 square feet, 5 bedrooms, 3 baths, junior ADU.
Mm.
Um, working on a lot of houses for clients. I mean, I'm going big on this construction business. I
Mhm.
mean, that's where I'm putting most of my time.
Where can
now.
they find you if they need to get construction work done?
They can call me on my personal phone, or they can just
Mhm.
hit me up on Instagram, my business, or my personal page.
What's your Instagram for?
Leon Housing Construction. You can
Okay.
find it.
Cool.
We'll put it up on the screen after this.
Yeah.
So if you have any clients or if you want to remodel your house, hit
Mhm.
me up. If you want to do ADUs, I mean, we do
Mm.
it all. We don't really do handyman stuff.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It has to be more of a bigger project,
Yeah.
floors, paint, ADU, stuff like that.
More like full rehabs almost,
Exactly.
not like
yeah.
little
So
like.
don't hit me
I-
up to change a door, to change
Yeah.
it, to change a sink faucet.
Yeah.
Right.
Disclaimer.
I know we're kind of wrapping up the time, but any
Mhm.
crazy stories from your flips? We've heard some interesting
Mm.
stories from like squatters doing some nasty stuff or like crazy tenants. Do you have any stories like that?
Dead bodies.
Yeah.
No, I mean nothing like that has happened to me.
Not yet.
Not
Not yet.
yet.
You
Knock
got
on wood.
lucky.
Yeah, I mean, there's always some type of headaches throughout every project. I mean, every project has headaches. I recently just got red tagged at one of my properties for not getting some permits. So that was the first. Definitely had to deal with the city.
What'd you get red tagged for?
Remodeling, open for concept. I was
You didn't even knock down walls. You just started. They just caught you doing.
I did knock down one wall, so that's where they got me. I was gonna
Mhm.
actually do a ADU on that property. It had a detached garage,
Mhm.
so I was planning on doing ADU, but then I got red tagged in Claremont because all these Claremont is very hot. I mean, I would recommend not doing any work without permits.
What does red tag mean to the people that don't know?
It's when the city comes and red tags your property for not getting the adequate permits.
Is that what they have to have that sign out front too? It says, "Hey, we have this permit."
yellow
for it
sign?
Too.
Yeah.
It's almost
They
like
put
a
yellow fines. They fine you every day if you commence work every day after that.
damn.
So that was definitely a big headache for me, big learning experience. I mean,
What did they cost you for the permits after you had to do that?
So I had to get an architect. The architect bill ran about $10,000,
Damn.
Dang.
and
On
then
top of what you were expecting to pay.
yeah, and then I had to pay the city about $5,000, and then hard money costs every month after that. So it took us about 4 to 5 months to get the permits, which is a pretty fast
Dang.
process.
So you were expecting way lesser time too.
Yeah, that property should have been sold already.
So what should have took 6 months turned into like 10. So your holding costs and an extra 15,000.
Yeah.
Sheesh.
Would you say that's one of your worst deals? You would say most difficult deals.
No, because we're still in the green. I mean, we got it for a
Yeah.
good deal.
Nice.
So we're able to leverage that.
It's all about how you buy.
Exactly. I mean, every house is a good deal depending on the price, whatever price you get it for.
What would you say is like your biggest deal?
My biggest deal, as in profit wise or learning
Sure.
experiences.
Yeah,
Both.
what's the
Let's
most
do
you made
both.
on one deal?
Over 200K.
Nice.
Property in Lemon Grove. We
Nice.
turned.
California numbers for you. You know a lot of flippers outside of the state, they're like happy with 30 to 50.
Yeah, that's why California, especially San Diego's my
30
market.
to 50 is like a bad deal if you like
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
you're
I don't
like having
scary.
a shit. You're like that was a shit deal.
That's
yeah,
scary.
I don't take on properties if I'm not making at least 60
Six
70,
figures.
60 or 70K. But
Yeah.
the properties
Conservatively.
the properties I buy now we're making about 6 figures.
Yeah.
Nice.
Probably the 70K range is properties worth around 5 to 600K.
Mm-hmm. And
but-
it's just cosmetic rehab type stuff.
exactly. Yeah. Now I'm buying properties in Bayho, Claremont, which are fucked. My bad.
Yeah.
Messed up houses for $1.1 million.
So busted down houses for 1.1 mil.
Exactly.
Not we're buying it, fixing it up, and it's
Yeah.
gonna be 1.1.
We bought it for 1.1, and we were in escrow for 1.5. Putting
Man.
about
Nice.
150K into it.
Mm.
So there's definitely bigger margins in California, and I mean, there's nothing like California as far as real estate. I mean, there's deals everywhere, but
Have you done out of state yet?
I have not.
It's a lot.
Yeah,
That-
I mean,
Ed's
We're
going
going through
through.
one.
Ed and I are going. So I've done out of state before, but Ed's doing his first out of
Yeah.
state right now. We're partnering on, and he's going through it.
It's a lot. Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's
still
having
rough.
the right people in
It
place
really
over
is.
there. Like, I wouldn't be able to run a construction company over there in Texas.
Would you ever
Right.
expand Leon Housing?
I want to go nationwide. That's
Ooh,
that's my
that's the next
that's
man-
my
that's
goal.
the next move.
I mean,
We can help you with that.
I want to jump from doing houses to doing apartment buildings, whole
Mhm.
new. I mean,
You're trying to go commercial.
commercial.
Think bigger. I like it.
Exactly.
Guys-
Even with flipping houses and investing.
We are almost out of time, but if you guys want, if you need not your door changed or your toilet changed, but if you need a full gut rehab, if you need an ADU, If you got some land and you want to build on it, hit up my boy Vic Murillo with Leon Housing out in San Diego.
Quality.
Do you do only San Diego, or do you do Riverside County?
We go as far as, I would say, I mean, Fallbrook, Oceanside. We go
Fallbrook.
south of that.
San Diego County.
Yeah.
For now.
Maybe not even East County either. Like not like, I don't know,
Don't-
Alpine.
Don't Jamul.
Hamul. Hamul.
Don't tell me to Hamul.
Don't go to Campo. All right, guys, stay tuned for next week. Thank you for watching. Like, subscribe, comment.